What's up, believers? Welcome to Make Us Believe, a wrestling podcast by fans for fans. I am one of your hosts, Michael.
And I'm John.
And yeah, we're coming back after a couple of weeks. Had some stuff going on in the real world regarding work and stuff. Got to pay those bills because this doesn't, unfortunately. At least not yet. Spread the word, guys. Get out there.
That's
Make us
right.
money.
That's right.
Um, so yeah, we missed a couple of weeks, but honestly, in my opinion, there hasn't been much that we missed. Like there has been definite movement. I will say that, especially in the last week. There has been movement towards the card on WrestleMania. We've gotten some more matches solidified. We've gotten that shakeout, a little more so going, push some storylines forward. I'm still kind of looking forward to what I was looking forward to, and some of the new stuff I'm still kind of mad about, which I'm still disappointed at this point. I didn't feel like at this point I should be disappointed. This close to Mania. I think we're what, like 2 weeks out, roughly, something like that.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close here. We are 3 weeks. Well, what is it? The 18th? The weekend of the
Yeah, I
18th?
think it was like technically like 17 days, like a couple of days ago or something. So yeah, we're like 15 days out. It's April 18th and 19th. So all right, so 17 days away.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
17 days away today. So yeah, we're less than 3 weeks out, and I'm still they're still building matches for this, for the biggest show of the year.
hmm
And the storyline development they've done for the matches that they have um has been kind of hit and miss, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and if you want, Michael, we can kind of go down what we have confirmed so far for WrestleMania, kind of see how we feel at this time. We could also talk about what's been building. Totally your call on that.
Yeah, let's go by what we already have, because we did get an update this past Raw. um some final, like there were some finalization matches that happened there and got on there. So yeah, let's run through that.
Yep, and obviously believers will revisit this the closer we get to WrestleMania, but things will sort of transform, build up. What our opinions now on this could change down the line, but right now let's start from I don't want to say the bottom, but we'll start with the women's tag team championship fatal four way that we recently had announced, where it's the
It's the
irresistible
bottom.
forces. Yep, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but it kind of is. We got the irresistible
I hate to say
forces.
that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I have opinions, and I hate to say that because I love women's wrestling. They bring it, especially most of the people involved in this crop, like in this match and everything. Like you're talking some of the best in both the current generation and what you would argue would be the last generation leading up to this, like gold age of NXT, right?
hmm
You have some of the best in there, and honestly, I couldn't care. I don't care.
Yeah, so I agree with you. And even this women's tag match, which let me finish my thought on this one. So not my thought.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Let
Sorry
me
about
finish
that.
the card. So no, but I agree with what you're saying, and it was worthy of some outrage. So the match is the irresistible forces who are walking in this champ, at least at this point, versus the Bella Twins, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and then Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Kind of to echo some of your sentiments. I like most of the people in this match. The Irresistible Forces, even though they're kind of a thrown together tag team, I think they're both talented enough, or talented slash interesting enough to where, they can be good. But um, I'd say overall, my interest in them as a tag team is fairly low right now, but they have some potential, and I think they're pretty good. The Bella Twins, we've made our thoughts on the Bella Twins very clear. For their age, at least as athletes, they still look terrific. Maybe hotter than 99% of the roster, but talentless in the ring, talentless on the mic. Really don't need them in WWE at all. You got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, two surefire Hall of Famers. You could certainly argue that Charlotte Flair is the goat of women's wrestling. She's very decorated. She's very good in the ring. Alexa Bliss, who's kind of been in and out. But she's been back recently. She looks pretty good, very talented. Bailey, who we both is at least one of our favorites, and Lyra, who is kind of an up and comer who shows a lot of promise. This match on paper should be pretty good, but it's just a thrown together match that I feel like you could just do it on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. Like I don't even think this needs to take up a slot at WrestleMania. I have no interest in this match whatsoever, and I don't care who wins this match at all.
Yeah. What does this do like for the division? First off, like
Nothing. Yeah,
looking at it from
everybody
like
gets a shot. What
yeah,
tag teams are we
it's
even
like
missing? This is like all the tag teams as far as like I
we're
can think
missing
of.
one. Honestly, like aside from the ones that are just literal, like there to be jobbed, like I think we're missing Julia and
Yeah,
Kiana
yeah,
James. Like that.
yeah,
We're missing that and the fact that like Rio broke up a
yeah.
little
That's
bit
fair.
so they could
That's
do their
fair.
own those
Yeah.
aside from those two tag teams, I
Hmm.
don't really see what else we're missing. Because I mean, like
Yeah.
what? We're gonna get the secret Hervis in there. I love Chelsea. I love the secret Hervis,
She's
but
hurt anyway.
that yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, but if you threw them in there, you know that they would just get hurt, or they're just gonna lose. Like that's literally their job, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's not like you're gonna not gonna throw them in there with freaking Charlotte and Alexa and expect them to come out on top. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're
No,
not gonna
and yeah,
swerve us
so
that hard.
right. So you got most of the women's tag teams in this match. And what's the point of that? It's like you don't even have to be overly competitive because they're just going to put you on the WrestleMania championship match anyway. How does that work for any other championship? Like you're basically guaranteed a spot if you got a tag team here, now you get a championship match at WrestleMania. Does nothing for me. And I'm being serious. I really don't even care who wins this match. I'd be a
Yeah,
little annoyed if it was the Bella Twins, but honestly, I could see that happening as much as any other team. I could see any team winning this. Like for me to predict this match is impossible because there's just so little interest, I think, universally from it that it doesn't matter who's holding these belts right now, which is a testament to how worthless they are, which is a shame because, as I mentioned, and you've talked about as well. I mean, there's a lot of good talent in this match, and nobody cares about it. It doesn't even need to be on the card.
yeah, exactly. And it just sucks because the women only have one tag team division. Like they only have the
Hmm.
one, right? The men have two. They have one for each show. The women have one. And with that, it should be more competitive. It should be more prestigious and we should care about it more because there's only one set of titles, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't give a shit about this match. I don't care. Like
Hmm.
I love Bailey. Bailey's the GOAT, in my opinion.
I love
I
Bailey's my
don't
favorite. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if
I
she
don't
wins.
care
I don't
either.
care if Alexa wins. I don't care. Honestly, like you said, I don't care if the Bellas win. Like it none of this does anything other than, in my opinion, set up the next match for Backlash in Tampa.
Yeah.
Like
Which
that's
if we
literally
don't
is
care
this.
if we don't care about this match at Mania, why would we ever care about a women's tag team match? And this is you were saying like there's only one. It's a great point of why would we ever have two tag team championships for the women, one for each show, because man, they can't support one. And there are like the
Mhm.
tag team division is a good idea, especially if you have, you know, too many women who don't have anything to do or they're floating, you pair them together. I understand the value of a tag team division, even at like the lowest, common denominator of like, let's just throw them together. Like, obviously, that's not what you want ideally, but, it serves a purpose even for that. To have all these teams in a match at WrestleMania, there's still enough time where you could have a tournament to challenge the irresistible forces. And you've been having matches between these teams. Just figure something out. I don't know. Like I said, it does nothing for me. But we could move on unless you have anything else to add.
That it you made an interesting point of like this is how you get to WrestleMania. It's literally like, do you have a pulse? We've gone from this is the show of shows, the most prestigious event. People literally like Sami Zayn's freaking out about not getting a match at WrestleMania, let alone a title match, right? And that was
Yep.
fueling his whole thing. when when he got the US title. So we're supposed to believe that people are literally going to like almost quit the business if they don't get a WrestleMania match to, oh yeah, are you a warm body? We'll just throw you into this match. That's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Like what? Yeah, it makes no sense, and it sucks because they have been trying to build this, but I feel like how can you really build towards a fatal four way with four tag teams? Like that's really hard to do when you have the Bellas who have no charisma, no chemistry, like with anybody else. You have Naya, who's not the best. She's not good on the mic at all. I mean, Lash isn't either, but at least she had like they have some chemistry
They're better than the
or
Bellas on the
whatever.
mic, but they're
Yeah,
not
better.
great, but they're
Yeah,
better.
they're better.
And
And then you
they're
have,
big
like
gals who you feel like are powerful. You can buy into it, you know?
yeah, for sure. And I like how they came out in the matchy outfits and like they have been actually acting like a tag team. And I love that because Naya I feel like Nia does her best when she is part of a tag team, honestly. Like if she's out on her own, she does good work and she does, play the big girl role very well. I'm not gonna deny her that. She has hurt a lot of people in the past and she gets
Hmm.
overzealous. I will also say that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that Nia is my favorite, but I am saying that she's better than the Bellas.
No, I agree. She's middle of the
So
pack to me. Sometimes I actually do find her enjoyable. A lot of times I don't really know what her purpose is. Yeah, she to me, Naya's fine. She's okay.
yeah, I just I but when you have weak links like that and the Bellas and stuff, and you're
Yeah.
inserting them into literally that's half of the tag teams now have a weak link that you're exposing with the other teams that literally have two of the goats, the people in contention to be the goat of their division. Like what do you do with that? Like there's such a disparity between the
Yeah.
two sets of tag teams and everything. And now they're in a fatal four way, and it makes no sense. It's just it's going to be chaos, and it's going to be why for me. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't. Yeah, I'm good on it. It is what it is. It's in Mania. I can't change it. So
Yeah.
and now at
But
least
yeah,
now I know where I'm going to refill my snacks.
exactly, exactly. Next match, which I kind of have a little bit of a similar sentiment on, just because it seems too thrown together for me anyway, is the IC title ladder match. Now, don't get me wrong, this match is going to be a fun watch. It is going to be
Oh
a fun
yeah,
watch. So you have some good people in there. It's just it to me again, it just seems very thrown together. But I have to say with a caveat, unlike the women's tag team championship fatal four way. I am gonna have fun watching this match. You got Penta coming in as the IC champ, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, JD, and Rusev. Like besides Rusev, like these guys are gonna be flying around these rings. And then you got Rusev for some power, which again, Rusev is just kind of a permanent floater. Like he's a guy who I feel like just can't get himself over anywhere for any reason. But he's gonna serve the power purpose in this match. Everybody else is gonna be high flying and doing cool stuff. This is gonna be a fun match. But you know, I would bet you $100 that Penta's gonna retain. Dragon Lee isn't over enough to hold this belt. Javon Evans is absolutely an up and comer. He's not ready to hold the IC title, in my opinion. JD, I guess I wouldn't be upset if JD won. I'd like JD to win, but I don't see it
yeah,
happening. Rusev, I would say almost no chance unless they're just desperately trying to give him a push after bringing him back from AEW, where he also couldn't get over, where he went after he couldn't get over in WWE the first time. Like, I guess there's a possibility of a title change. I would just be shocked. I think not again. We'll revisit our predictions closer to Mania, but right now I don't really see a world where Penta loses. But this will be a fun match, even though like the build isn't super interesting to me. Not that there's been much of one, but this will be a fun match to watch.
I completely agree with that. All of the points you made were spot on, in my opinion. I don't think it'll go to Rusev. Uh, because of that aspect. Like he hasn't gotten over. He's been in the mid card, like just kind of jobbing around.
Hmm.
He didn't get over in his like I'm gonna help you by breaking you storyline.
Yeah.
That didn't go over well when they first brought him back. The other people they've thrown at him, it just kind of, flash of the pan, whatever.
Yeah.
So even if they did let Rusev win and try and give him a push, it's not going to last long because nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy into Rusev as the IC champion, and it's just going to get he's going to lose it in a month anyway. So what's even the point? Um, I feel like they could put it on Javon if they wanted to. He's over enough, and I feel like he could. Like if you were obviously going to give him a run, for a belt, it's not. It is the Raw secondary belt. It's no longer like yeah, I have to look at it that way. If how I have to frame it in my mind.
Well, I mean, it
Uh,
is. I
it's
think
not
by
because
design, it
because it's
is.
not yeah, because it's no longer like in the Attitude Era, like when we were watching, where you had
Mhm.
the world title, then you had the IC belt, then you had the intercontinental or the
European.
European and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
It's no longer like that. It's you have the world title and then you have the secondary title, and that's what you have. It just so
Yeah.
happens on Raw, it's the IC belt. So I kind of have to throw away all of that prestige and realize, yeah, this is the mid Carter's title, which it was before, but it didn't. It had that extra shine on it back then that I don't feel like it now because you can't really differentiate between the IC belt and the United States title because they're both technically at the same level
Yeah,
now.
they are. They're parallel belts. They're both the workers title.
Yeah, so in that aspect, I feel like Javon could take it. Uh, I don't know if he's ready, and I don't know if the universe would like go for that. Also, it would mean ending Penta's reign, and that dude's just getting going.
I
And
agree.
people have seen like they've wanted Penta to be champion for a while, so swapping it out now, even though it is WrestleMania, would be a
A little
little premature,
premature.
in my
I
opinion.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree totally.
But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at honestly anybody winning except for Rusev. I would be a little upset if Rusev won. It sucks because I do like Rusev, but it just I don't feel like I feel like it would be a waste if they had him win. But yeah, a
Yeah.
Javon, Dragon Lee, JD, I can see all of them holding that belt in the future for sure.
In the future for sure, but yeah, kind of like what you were touching on, Penta is just getting rolling with this belt. I do see him retaining mostly for that reason. Um, I think we all kind of want to see what he does with this belt, and this would be a really good retain for him, especially because he's the one who chose the stipulation. So, yeah, this will be a fun match to watch. Like I said, the build isn't gonna, is probably not gonna heat up like to a super interesting level, but it'll be a fun match. Absolutely, this will be one that even if you have no interest in the characters, you're going to want to stay seated because there's going to be some really fun stuff. Penta is awesome. He can throw. Dragon Lee, like I said, even though I don't really have much interest in this character, he can fly. Javon, that boy bouncy. JD, we've seen the amazing things he could do. So I mean, like I said, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm looking forward to this match, even though there was zero build for it.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah,
hey, I'm gonna have this belt on. It's gonna happen at WrestleMania. Ladder match, let's go. And then
yep,
who open challenges a ladder match for their IC title, by the way? Like who
yeah,
does that?
yeah. That's
Like
pretty wild.
that's crazy a little bit, like to me. But hey, I'm here for it, and I feel like this is gonna be a good match. So let's go.
Agreed, agreed. So next match on the list, and this is probably the first one where I do have genuine interest, and it was an inevitable match that was going to take place at Mania. You knew it was going to come to fruition, but it's Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. I think that even though I don't love the breakup, I wouldn't say I totally hate it, and this will be a fun match, and this will create some good story. You have obviously two longtime Judgment Day people who had a falling out recently. It's a classic wrestling story. I love Dominic Mysterio as a character. I love Finn Balor, and Finn Balor is extremely talented. So this is bound to be a good match, in my opinion.
Yeah. I a lot of people forget, in my opinion, it seems that a lot of people forget what Dom can actually do in the ring. And
He's been making very steady improvements since he's
mhm,
especially since he's joined the Judgment Day, but really since he entered the company, he has been making very noticeable improvements.
yeah. And we've said it before, like the dude is on track, right? Like he's on track to be world champion, Hall of Fame career, like kind of stuff. Like he whatever it is, he has it, in my opinion. Like his character, he's able to go with his character, he's able to work the crowd, he's able to do his matches, he's great in the ring. He's fantastic on the mic. I mean, his voice is a little graining on the mic, but his promos are solid, which
Yeah,
is like
and he's got clean
I
heat
I dig
too.
it.
All
Yeah,
at any time
exactly.
he's got good clean heat.
Yeah. So I mean, he's the kid's a natural. He just is. Um, and I'm really looking forward to seeing his career go out. I don't think that he goes over on Finn in this match, just because I think Finn needs it more, especially if they're trying to do his singles push. But
I
I
agree.
do think it's going to be a good match.
Nope,
Um,
I agree. Finn's going to win
yeah,
this match. Well, I mean, you never know though, because there could be interference. But I agree with you. Finn needs this win more, and Dominic is still cursed, I believe. So
yeah.
this should be
Do you
Finn's match to
think
win.
so? Finn has uh expressed interest in this previously, and like but he said he didn't want it to be to come back as like a gimmick or anything like that. Do you think that for WrestleMania we get the demon?
I'm glad you brought this up because this has crossed my mind, and I do believe that we get the demon for
Mm,
Mania. And if we get the demon, it's a slam dunk that he's winning it, like without a doubt. Like I think I can't think of more than one time that he's lost as the demon in WWE. And I'm not sure he ever lost as a demon outside of it. Now, if I'm wrong, don't blow us up too hard. I like I mentioned before. I watched Finn in New Japan, loved him in NXT. I think both of his NXT runs were really some of his finest work. And on the main roster, it's been kind of hit or miss. But Finn is awesome with just a ton of untapped potential on the main roster, and we have not seen the Demon in many years at this point. So I think it's a perfect. Like he just left Judgment Day, he's at WrestleMania. It's probably going to be his first match since leaving Judgment Day. I don't really see him having a match, in the next few weeks here. So to have his first match outside of the Judgment Day at WrestleMania against Dominic Mysterio, a guy he got into Judgment Day, I just feel like it's a perfect time to bring the demon back.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. So next, and again, we never really know for the most part what order these are going to come out on, like on the actual show. So I'm just kind of going off what I see listed here. But the next match, and this is a new match on the card here, but I'm excited about it as well, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Um, it definitely seemed like Seth Rollins was not going to go in that direction. Gunther didn't have a direction, like which was weird because he's Gunther, he's one of the bigger stars in the company, but um, him attacking Seth Rollins, I mean, really out of nowhere, it worked for me. And I know I knock things that kind of come out of nowhere sometimes, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This worked for me. I think that Gunther never really needs to have a reason. Gunther's like an assassin in this company. He doesn't take much personally. He's just there to kick some ass, and he saw an opportunity to go to Mania with Seth Rollins. That's going to be an awesome match, and he's going to go with it. I don't really know who wins this match. I'd probably lean towards Gunther because you can definitely have one of the Browns come back and run a little interference, or even a clean match. I feel like Gunther probably benefits from it more, but with Seth, I do feel like, especially because he's a face again now, you might want to have a little interference from one of the Browns. I feel like one of them should be healthy by now, at least healthy enough to run a little interference. Um, But yeah, overall, I think this is going to be a good match, a fun match, and I'm pretty hyped on it. I think it's going to be fun. What are your thoughts there?
I think it's going to be a good match. I just it felt weird. Like the booking was just like, why?
It was out of
Because
nowhere, like I said. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because out of nowhere. But I mean, realistically, like it goes against everything that they've been building on Gunther for since last year, right?
But
Like you
I'm
go in,
happy
he's
about
like,
that, man. I didn't
I
need
am
him to be
too. I
like
just,
the legend killer guy anymore. Like
yeah,
like there's just only so much you could do with that, and then you kind of get stuck in that character, and that's what I was afraid they were going to do with him. So I'm kind of glad they're going in a different direction with him.
that's my problem though, is that the inconsistency is that like you're going straight from dumping all of this into where his entire character is I end careers. And it just so happened that you were able to put him in positions for three wrestlers that were retiring, right? Or one who needed money and two that were retiring. Like let's be real. There's no way that Bill Goldberg came out of retirement for any other reason other than to get a paycheck. The dude's been a jabroni since day one anyway, so it doesn't matter. um he so you he goes in, they built up this character for him. They only let him commit to this character and nothing else. And then after AJ, like what the hell happens? Like they did exactly what we
Hmm.
said he was going to do. He painted him into a corner. Now he has nowhere to go. And now I don't know what Gunther we're looking at. Like, are we just looking at the ring general? Are we looking at Gunther who's just like desperate to get to Mania and therefore is going to do whatever it takes? So he attacks Seth because he saw an opening. Is there some hidden grudge that we don't know about that they're going to try and play up in the 3 weeks that we have? Is there or is he saying going in saying I'm going to end Seth Rollins' career after Seth just got back? Like I don't know what Gunther we're getting, so I'm a little hesitant
If I
as
had to guess,
to
it'd probably
what's
be the
going
first
on.
two said. Yeah, I think it's probably him returning more to the ring general, and also seizing an opportunity. And they still have a couple weeks to build on this as well, which I think that
Yeah.
they're both good enough to build this up to where if you're not in yet, I think you will be by Mania.
Okay. I mean, and it's going to be a good match. I mean, it's Seth and
Yeah, oh yeah,
Gunther. There's no way
absolutely.
it's not a good match. But also, I want to know why.
Hmm.
And at this close to Mania, when you're inserting randomly, quote unquote, you know, inserting people into storylines so they could have a match at Mania, I want you to make it make sense to me because I've seen what
Fair.
we're building for the last year, and this isn't it. So I want you to make sense of the U-turn that you're taking. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's fair enough. Totally fair enough. So next we have it, I don't know how you feel about this, but it's working for me. But we got Obafemi and Brock.
I
I'm
called
a
this shit.
yeah. You did. You know, shoot. I'm a mark for Brock. Um, but I don't even know the right move here. Like I think Obafemi has to win, but
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like I'm not gonna be mad if Brock wins. I'm not gonna say that it's the right move, but I'm a bit of a mark for Brock. And I will say this too. So like this is a fun match. I'm okay with the build so far. You have Obafemi getting the best of Brock, for weeks now. Brock he's clearly in Brock's head, and I think Brock's actually doing a pretty good job of portraying it just with his facial expressions, how like he's kind of
yeah,
nervous and a little bit afraid of him. Like so I'm giving Brock some credit there. Like Brock's actually doing some good nonverbal storytelling with this. Um, but I do think Brock has to get the best of Obafemi a time or two before we get to WrestleMania. Like I need to see Brock destroy Obafemi at some point before WrestleMania if Oba's going to go over. You can't have like Obafemi like just humiliate this man and then beat him at WrestleMania. It's still Brock Lesnar. And also like if we're
yeah,
looking at how it usually works out, usually the guy who's getting the best of them before the match takes place isn't the one who wins the match. It's not 100%, but damn, it seems like it's about 90%. So I do want to see Brock really just kind of make a big statement, just brutally attack Obafemi, and then Obafemi going over like that. Like I said, that's the right idea, but I do love Brock the wrestler, so I'm a little torn, but I know best for business is Oba. But yeah, like I said, there's a few things I kind of want to see before we get into that match.
Completely valid. And I love that you said that because that has been my thought process this whole time. As soon as Oba starts coming out and he owned Brock, I was like, damn, that's legit. That's a great way to challenge, right?
Oh yeah, that
And he
pop
did
up
it
power
again
bomb.
yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
so that and oh, by the way, Brock took that like a fucking champ. That was the
Oh yeah,
cleanest
he
fall
did.
from grace I have ever seen.
Yeah,
Like
dude, that was
he
awesome.
popped up perfectly. He was flat when he hit. Like it was absolutely stunning to
Yeah,
watch. So mad props to Brock for taking that bump the way that he did because damn that was pretty, man. Like oh that was so good.
it was. It
Um
was.
my thing is what is that very state sentiment that you were thinking is Oba getting the most of him or getting the better of him at each turn is diminishing Brock's dominance, which again diminishes Brock as a character. So does it even matter that you're beating him? Or it means that Brock's going to win at Mania, in which case, why did you bring Oba into the most high profile match of his career just to literally have him go to Suplex City and be counted 1, 2, 3? Like it that doesn't make sense to me from that point of view. So the fact that he has consistently gone for 3 weeks now straight, basically gone over on Brock and is in Brock's head and stuff. I understand that storyline aspect
Hmm.
of getting into his head and everything, but yeah, as if we don't see Brock just beat the ever loving shit out of Oba before Mania,
Hmm.
it's I don't think Oba wins at Mania. In
Right.
which I'm going
Exactly.
to be sad because we all know that I love Oba. Um, but at that point, like, why did you put him in there with Brock? Like, you didn't have to do that. You could have put him there with anybody, and it would have still pushed him. Putting him in the ring with Brock doesn't give him a push. It doesn't give him a shine. It unless he wins. If he just gets decimated by Brock, it doesn't matter. So
I
I don't.
agree.
Yeah,
If you were gonna have, and like I said, I first of all, let me just say, if I haven't made it clear in previous episodes, I do really like Obafemi. I'm very interested in this character. I think he's got a ton of potential. I'm a fan. I've always been a mark for Brock, as I've said many a times. But yeah, I do believe if you weren't gonna have Obafemi win this match, then you should have just had him go against Gunther, and then that would have been a way to, you know, break Gunther out of the the career ender streak. Maybe even put your career on the line and then beat Gunther, and then Gunther's that's done now, and you could move away from that and bring him back to the ring general. So I do think Obafemi wins this match. Like I said, just to reiterate what we've already said, but I do think he wins this match. I do think he has to get his ass kicked before he does it, and then I think that that's best for business. But yeah, I do think Oba pretty much has to go over here. It really wouldn't make a lot of story sense for him not to.
yeah, and I mean, unless it's this whole buildup is like they're really just trying to make him the new Brock Lesnar ish kind of figure
Yeah,
of
yeah,
just supreme dominance, then
mhm,
yeah, you have him dominate Brock going into WrestleMania, and then you have him annihilate Brock at WrestleMania. Like no offense, just what he did to Cena with Suplex City, just annihilated, right? Like
yeah,
you have him do that to Brock, then it's like cool. You've cemented Oba, but at
yeah,
that point you have to
absolutely.
give him. But at that point you have to give him a world title.
You
Like in
do,
my opinion, you have to.
yeah.
Like, you can't have him ride that momentum until Roman's ready to go over for his next storyline or something like that or whatever.
It,
You need him to have a world title like within the next couple of months, in my opinion, because that momentum is going to be just fizzled out and gone.
yeah,
So
I
if
mean
you're
that's
not
a
going to
solid
push him
point.
that heavy, yeah, if you're not going to push him that heavily, then there's no reason to approach that storyline. And
It's
pushing someone that fat, that far, that hard, that fast, like, I mean, we know that he can hold the championship because he held the NXT title
yeah,
twice. But I it's main roster is a different game, and there's a lot more that goes
absolutely.
into that title with, interviews and,
Hmm.
press meets and whatnot, all those obligations. So, I mean, if you're not going to do it that way, there's no reason not to introduce a little bit of the traditional back and forth, in my opinion.
You probably do got to go traditional back and forth. But yeah, I agree. If the goal was if the goal is for this match to be a passing of the torch, then you would want him to dominate Brock. But yeah, then you really have to keep him at the ceiling because Brock, as an example, has never held a championship in the WWE that wasn't the top title. He's never held tag title. He's never held any of the mid card titles. He's only been a world champion. And if you have Oba dominate him, then that's kind of got to be what Oba is. Which I don't really necessarily think has to happen. Like I said, I think I'd probably prefer some back and forth, especially if he goes in there and it's a squash match with Brock. I don't know if I'm going to be as into it. Like I would prefer some back and forth. I want to feel some doubt about it. Like even though I just said I think Oba has to win and we agree on that, I want some points in the match where I'm like, hey, this is still Brock fucking Lesnar. Like Brock can probably take this match, and then you have Oba win it, and then yeah, you kind of have some options with where you're going to go with him in the immediate future. Obviously, beating Brock Lesnar is a ticket to the top, but the way you do it, can give you a little bit more leniency in how fast it's done and where you want to put them in the meantime before you have them go for a world title. So it'll be interesting, but yeah, I think that this will be a good rivalry, and it's certainly been piquing my interest.
Yeah. This is one of the few matches that I'm like, no, I'm tuning into Mania for.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this is one of the things that is like, okay, well, in the weird reality in which Jericho doesn't show up to Mania to save us,
Well,
uh,
he's got to though. He's still got
this
to.
would, yeah, yeah, he still has to, because I mean, there's still the rest of this card
But this would
that
save it for you,
exists.
is what you're saying.
But yeah, this is one of the things that helps
Yeah.
save it. It helps save it. It helps make that uh that lack of
Hmm.
Y2J in my life okay. Um,
Yeah.
if that were to
Yeah.
happen, but we know that's not going to happen because he absolutely is going to show up to Mania to save us all.
He absolutely will. I have all the faith in the world. Bet on it. But yeah, as far as that, yeah, that's definitely a big deal match, and there's not even a title on the line. So, it
Yeah.
kind of speaks to Brock's legend as well as Oba's potential. So, definitely pumped about that one. So
All right. What's
next
next?
next on the list we got the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. And I just want to say this, I'm not sure if I've said this on previous episodes or not, but one of my pet peeves in wrestling is an unsanctioned match. I just think it's so stupid. Like
Preach.
you're telling me that you're gonna give this match a slot on your biggest show of the year. You're gonna have a referee for it. You're going to promote it. How isn't this match sanctioned? Also, please tell me what the sanctioning body of professional wrestling even is. Like, get out of here. Like I'm pro kayfabe, but I can't make believe this shit into a reality. Like, unsanctioned matches are the dumbest thing. Just call it an Extreme Rules match and let's go about our day. But anywho, so
No,
this
no,
match,
no.
yeah,
This
all right, go.
I agree. I agree with everything you said.
Thank you.
Specifically surrounding the unsanctioned matches. It made sense in the 19 whatevers when the NWA was still the governing body of
Sure.
territories. That made sense because you had a unified sanctioning body that put
Mhm.
out the rules and whatever, and you could believe in that as far as kayfabe goes. That makes sense. This nowadays, it's WWE's way or the highway. We don't even have a complete like an absolute like a rule book that you could look up. even in
Yeah,
kayfabe. Like there's no rule book that exists as far as WWE is concerned with what's going on in the match, let alone a sanctioning body or a regulating body that
yeah,
sanctions matches that fall under those criteria. Like it's so much there's so much disconnect from this that it just doesn't make any fucking sense. And yet they do this. Why not just call it a disqualification match or a street fight or one of the other 342 names they have for those style of matches? Why call it unsanctioned?
yeah, yeah. I agree. Um, Now, as far as the match itself, once we get past the the bullshit that is the stipulation, but the match
Hmm.
itself, I am interested in.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not saying I'm crazy about how Drew having to drop the title pretty quickly, but whatever. Like I'm moving on. I'm moving forward. Drew versus Jacob is going to be a fun match. Like that's a good match. These are both characters that I like. The rivalry is legit. It's very believable. They both have a storyline that checks out. So I mean, I'm into the match. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm not saying it's you know the top of the card that I'm looking forward to, but it is absolutely a match that I have interest in, and they've been doing pretty good stuff building up to it. I'm in for the match, but yeah, unsanctioned like especially like because records don't even matter, especially in WWE. Like, just get the fuck out of here with like the unsanctioned part. But like I said, the match itself, I am interested in. Like, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Like what if they brought out another kendo stick? Like was the
Yeah, yeah,
go
like
on and shut down the match? Were they going to put a pause on WrestleMania because a chair was brought out? Like, come on, man. Come on.
yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. But
Stupid. But I am looking forward to the match. I love Drew. Um, I do agree. I wanted to see him with the title for longer. Like Cody doesn't need the title going into WrestleMania. I don't care. We don't need that. We didn't need that. I we didn't need that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I
we'll
know you
we'll
like Cody. I like
we'll get
Cody
to it
too.
more. We'll get to it more. That
But
match is coming up. I'll save
yeah,
my thoughts. But yeah,
yeah.
I hear you're great.
Uh, so I'm like, we could have kept it with Drew. Uh, I love Jacob. Like, I love watching him. He's fun in the ring. He's great. The build has just been great. As far as
Yep.
those two are concerned, no notes. Like, it's been fantastic. Uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The stipulation's stupid, but there's nothing we can do about that. But oh, whatever. In my head, I'm saying it's a no DQ match, and it's all gravy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, not really much more to say on that one. So the rest of the official card we have are all championship matches. We'll start with one that's been pretty controversial, at least on the social medias, and that is the United States Championship match between
Oof.
champion Sami Zayn and Tricky Williams.
This was bullshit.
All right, you
I'm
go.
throwing
You
that.
go on.
I'm starting
Go
hot.
go ahead. Kick us off. You kick us off on this one.
No, no. We said for weeks, multiple episodes, Sammy deserves a title. We said
Yep.
he deserves the title. We said he deserves the
Hmm.
world title. We didn't say he
Yep.
deserves the United States title again. We didn't say
Hmm.
he needs to be a tag title again. We didn't
Hmm.
say he needed the IC belt again. We didn't say any of that. We said world title. Even if it was just for a month,
Yep.
world title. But we can't do that. We can't give one of our favorite Canadians the belt. We can't give the boy from Montreal the world strap. Like, really? Really, guys? You can't do that for him? It's
Yeah.
shit. It's shit,
Yeah.
is what it is. It's absolute shit. Instead, he goes out there and you have also like uh, facial storytelling with Carmelo, by the way, when Sammy's music hit, fantastic. But
Yep.
we're gonna stop Carmelo's like US title run, which has been going fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And he's been
Hmm.
putting on banger after banger every week doing it.
Every match has been great, without a doubt.
But we're gonna stop that so we could give the belt to Sammy so we can send him to Mania, where we literally just covered how many matches that are in Mania without titles on the line? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So uh so check this out. I fucking dig it, dude. I dig
I
it.
think
I
it's going to be
can't.
great. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the match. I
So
just
you
don't
know.
like the fact that we had to
Yeah.
interrupt
Yeah.
the US title run of Carmelo Hayes and give it to Sami Zayn to make it happen. Why couldn't we just let Sami and Trick go out there and entertain us the way that we know
Yeah.
Sami and Trick are going to entertain us? Why couldn't that just be enough?
Yeah. Listen. I'm gonna say a few things on this, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised by my own reaction to how this played out because we have been talking for months at this point how we think
Yeah.
Sammy needs to make, a world champion push, and this isn't it. But Sammy was, he was heading towards rock bottom again, and we've seen Sammy hit rock bottom a few times, and it's never good. And he was heading towards rock bottom, and when Nick Aldis told him there's not a spot for him on the card, he marched right out there and got him a spot on the card, and I liked it. Now, for a few reasons, all right. One, we've kind of talked about it, but really in the past episodes, we were trying to make sense of how Sammy could get back into the world title picture and a world title picture where it doesn't look like there's any immediate openings. Well, that solves this problem because he could hold this belt for a little while until there is one. Two, as much as I do dig Carmelo and I think he's extremely talented, I'm not big on the open invite for a title shot. It doesn't allow for any story to build up, and like we're both like this, but to me, for especially for a championship, I want some story behind it. When you're always doing an open challenge, it doesn't leave any real room for a story. So even though Carmelo's super talented, I don't think his title run really did a ton to elevate anybody around him. It elevated him a little bit because it was a good run, but I wouldn't even say it significantly elevated him because he's always been pretty good. Now, also, Carmelo versus Trick Williams would have been cool because they have history. Like they have a lot of NXT history. So that would have been interesting. But Sammy and Trick have been kind of building a rivalry behind the scenes, and this just did a really good job of I think bringing that together. So even though I think, and don't get me wrong, I think that your opinion is overwhelmingly like what people are thinking. But to me, I just kind of really needed Sammy to be doing something. And as much as I do like Carmelo, I definitely like Sammy more. And this actually makes enough sense to me to where I can go with it. So, like I said, I'm okay with this for now. I don't I like I said, I'm as far as who wins this match, that's where it gets a little tougher for me. Um, I think that you probably have Sammy retain, but man, Trick is over, dude. And Trick,
Yeah.
I love Trick, man. He's got such a banger of an entrance, which by the way, is going to go so hard at WrestleMania.
Oh,
Um,
dude.
like
Oh, it's going to be so good.
dude, it's going to be like a goosebump thing for me. Like I
Yeah.
already know it. Like I'm so pumped up about this intro at WrestleMania for Trick. Um,
I preemptively got the chills, like not quite goosebumps, but I got a little bit of a chill when you said that. Like, and I thought
dude,
about it. Like,
that's what
this
I'm
is gonna be
saying,
so
man. Like
good,
it,
so
it is
good.
it's gonna go hard. I bet you it's the coolest intro of the night. And he does. Like I'm not saying that he's stealing anything or like he's like taking a gimmick, but he has rock aura. Like he really
Hmm.
kind of like that's what it reminds me of. Like back in Rock's prime when he had an intro that hit so hard that it didn't really matter if you were that into what he was doing at the time or not. You paid attention. Like it was just it
Yeah,
demanded attention. That's how I feel about Trick Williams right now. So I mean he's really getting over. I don't know I don't know what the right move is on this one. I like I said though, I slimly err towards having Sammy keep it because Sammy is kind of I mean, he's a big deal character that they're trying to figure something out for right now. And I do think him carrying the title again for a little while before he can get a world title push might be beneficial to his story. But man, I'm not going to be mad if Trick takes that title either because Trick is over right now as well. He's a
yeah,
heel and everybody fucking loves him, including me. So
yeah.
I don't really know. I don't really know what the
No,
right move there is.
I'm in on Trick for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what? What in my opinion, what the right move was is to let Carmelo keep the U.S. title and have him go to WrestleMania and face Trick Williams. So then Trick Williams could take the title off of Carmelo if he was going to drop the title anyway.
That's a great
Then
point. Honestly,
that's
yeah,
how I would have done it if they were literally just going to do it 3 weeks out anyway. Just
yeah.
let him hold it and have him drop it to Trick. So then that way, yeah, Sammy doesn't go to WrestleMania again, but then you get Carmelo, who does get to go to Mania, who's younger in his career, and it might mean a little more to him.
Hmm.
And you have Trick, who's already going, and now Trick gets to go over and become a champion at WrestleMania. Like that's two of the next generation there that really not only could benefit from it going forward, but also it might be more meaningful to them,
Yeah,
than
I
Sammy going into WrestleMania with another workers title, kind of thing. Like we've seen that happen before, kind of thing. So
yeah. No, and
that's my
that's a
opinion. And
good
then
point.
I know that leaves Sammy out in the cold for Mania, but you know what? Like sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. And maybe them us not getting Sammy at WrestleMania might have jump started them creatively to be able to put him into things after the fact of Mania and reinsert him into whatever the title fallout from Cody and Randy is going to be, because then
Yeah.
the title's vulnerable immediately after that match. The title's vulnerable, so boom, Sammy's inserted there. Misses Mania, but he's still in the title. Like then he's in the world title picture. That's how I would have done it.
No,
That's how
but
Michael would have booked it.
well, you have convinced me actually from that Sammy will retain because you're right. If Trick was gonna win the title, it would have made more sense just to have Carmelo go in as champ. So you have convinced me actually that Sammy will win this match.
And I don't see
But yeah, like I
how
said,
it elevates Sammy at all to have him lose, but
it
also
just I think it
like
just stops Sammy from losing stock. Like I don't think it does anything
yeah,
to help him gain, but it stops his downward trajectory, which
yeah.
again I do think
But if
serves
he
a purpose.
loses, then
But yeah, yeah,
if he
it's kind of
loses,
back to
then
that.
he's
Yeah,
right. He's straight back down that losing
you're
streak,
right.
right?
You're right. Yeah, so
He just
he
won the
can.
title. Then he goes to Mania. Now he cashed in his ticket. He got it. He's going to
Yep.
Mania, and then immediately loses the title, like at Mania. Like it, that's two steps that puts him a step below where he was before he got on the card in the first place, in my
Right. He
opinion.
would just
So
be a transitional champion. Yeah. So no,
yeah,
you're right.
exactly. So it's
He
why
has
not
to
just
win that
give it to
match.
yeah, so why not just let Carmelo keep it if that was the case? Let Carmelo keep it, then you don't need a transitional. Do you need a transitional champion going into Mania? Like, did you need to take that off of Carmelo
Hmm.
for to accomplish this storyline aspect? Like, I don't think you did. So if that's the case, then if that ends up being the case, I'm gonna be upset. If Sammy does win, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, par for the course. I'm not excited for the outcome of the match one way or the other. I'm excited for the match because I love both of these guys, and I think that match is going to be a fucking banger.
It
But
will be.
I honestly, as far as like the outcome goes, in my opinion, it can like kind of only go one way, and if it doesn't, like it was an absolute waste in the first place. So
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
sorry, I didn't mean to shit on the parade. I
No.
don't mean to
No.
like
No. No. No.
or
No.
anything. I
Like
just that's how I'm seeing it.
no. No. Hey. Like I said, I understand your. Like I said, we're kind of on different levels with that match, but I definitely understand the sentiment. But the next championship we got. Hold on to your seatbelts. Women's Intercontinental Championship match. We got champion AJ Lee facing Becky Lynch. And let me just tell you, buddy, I couldn't give a fuck about this match. Now, I will say,
Spoiler.
yeah, I will say, additional spoiler for the believers out there. We are not going to be doing our top five list this episode. We kind of got something else for you. But I will tell you, as much as I've dogged on Becky Lynch, she would be my number one. I'm back on Becky Lynch right now. I'm gonna say that she's really done a lot for this title, and she's out of the world title picture, and she kind of did a promo on this that I thought was really good too. I'm back on Becky Lynch, but as much as I'm back on Becky Lynch, I'm out on AJ Lee. I don't care about AJ Lee at all. And I don't think that AJ Lee's going to
Freezing.
lose either. I think AJ Lee wins this match. So
Yeah, I'm not
but I don't
happy about
care. Like if Becky wins, cool. I'll be happier about the match, but overall, I don't care that much about this match. I don't care that much about this rivalry. It's just kind of whatever to me. How about you?
So the last time that they wrestled,
Mm.
it was apparent that AJ was having to slow down a little bit or that, sorry, the other way
Becky,
around.
yeah, yeah,
Becky was
yeah,
having to slow down a bit for AJ. And I get singles ring rust, even though she was doing that, she was doing the show, was it Heels? It was
mhm,
on
yeah,
Showtime for a bit. She was in that for, for a little bit. And, there was some wrestling going on in there. So, sure, stayed in shape and everything. But like everybody has said, and it's real. It's real. Ring shape is different than being in shape. There's a
yeah,
difference there. So, like I'm glad to see that she didn't lose a whole lot of step or whatever, or even if she didn't lose step, I can't tell because she was from a different era, right? Like
yeah,
AJ looked good as far as what I remember AJ looking like, but
yeah.
also
She was
she was in
facing
there.
supermodels. Yeah,
She was facing supermodels, and she was, and now she's going up against Becky fucking Lynch.
yeah,
Like you're literally looking at the first woman to headline and win WrestleMania, period.
yep, yep,
Like that's the caliber of person that you're going in there. Like that's no joke when she's talking about like being in goat contention. Like she's there. We don't
yeah,
necessarily have to like it, but it's there. So you see Becky having to slow down a little bit and things being more telegraphed in their one-on-one. Um, and I was kind of expected, but I was like, okay, this is actually where we're at. And then that got me thinking, I'm like, okay, yeah, what I said before, AJ was deserving of this title. I don't know if AJ was necessarily deserving of the world, like the women's world title, given the caliber of like people that we have, or caliber of women that we have in there defending that title now, competing for that title now. But AJ was leaps and bounds above the Divas title. She was a women's wrestler in the Divas era, and I stand
yeah.
by that.
No, no,
But I
fair,
think
totally
that
fair.
I feel like she was an IC or a
Hmm.
United States champion level in that, in the current,
Yeah,
roster.
yeah.
She might not be, even though she's as over as ever. I don't know if she's necessarily at that same level of world champion. And I like AJ. I liked
She
AJ.
still
Most of that
looks great.
probably is nostalgia. It's nostalgia. I'm gonna throw that
Yeah,
out there, like it is. But like she was really, really good at that time, and she was the one of the only reasons that made that division watchable. So there's that holding on to it, but also she's not in that division anymore. She's in the deep end of the pool now, and
yeah.
I I don't know. Like
No, I agree with
I
everything you
feel like
said.
Becky's been carrying this. I feel like Becky's been carrying this storyline. Honestly,
100%,
like
100%. That's one of the reasons I'm back on Becky. Like, forget all the
yeah,
hate I've said about Becky. That's all gone now. I'm back. I'm back on Becky. She might be my favorite
we're glad
women's
to have you
wrestler right
back.
now. Yeah, yeah. And but that's what's cool about professional wrestling is like, I can only be so stubborn on my points. You could win me back. I want to be won back. I'm a mark. Work me over. Like, and Becky's done a really good job um, of that since she's come back. So I'm very happy to be back on Becky. And AJ, like I said, she still looks great. She does look great. She's clearly still in shape. But yeah, she's from a different era. And I've said this before, I just have trouble buying back into people who are coming back in regularly from a different era. I just feel like it's very hard to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. Like I said, we see it with Brock, we see it with CM Punk, her AJ's husband. It's just it's a hard thing to do. And AJ, barring like a really great heel turn, probably isn't going to get me there. Like if she goes heel and she does it well, you can get me, but that's probably the only thing that AJ could do, and I don't see that happening anytime soon anyway. Um, I think she's just going to be kind of a floater face until, maybe for a couple years, before she goes back home. But I don't know. I don't know. Um, we'll see. But yeah, this match as it stands, just don't care. Um, and
I
then
have a
yeah,
question. I have a
yeah.
question.
No, no, yeah,
So,
of course.
the how am I going to put this? Um, we have a unique setup right now, right? We have AJ versus Becky for her title, for AJ's title. We have CM Punk versus Roman for CM Punk's title.
Mhm.
One, what's the likelihood that they're both on the same night? Or do you think that they would split them, Saturday, Sunday?
I wonder if I know where you're going with this. Are you?
You probably can like you can get it, but
Yeah.
what do you think
So
the
I
odds are?
I think the odds are high, and let me see if I can guess. Are you saying if slash when Punk retains, she comes out and they celebrate and have a little couples moment with the belts? Is that where you were going?
Kinda, but opposite. What
Oh,
happens in the inevitability
ooh,
that CM Punk loses to Roman?
interesting.
AJ loses to Becky. Now both of them they're both married. They're both obviously like married and widely known and
Hmm.
everything, right? That's part of the storyline and everything like that. So now they've both gone to the dance. They lost after talking all that shit. Do we get double heel turn?
Oh my gosh, that's so much better than I thought
See?
you were going with
See?
this. That's so much better. I
I'm just saying
would
creative. I'm available for part-time
love
work. Just
that.
throwing that out
I
there.
would love that. Oh my gosh. No, that would be great. I think there's a very low percentage of chance that that happens, but I would
Yeah, that is
love to
not
see that.
happening. It's not happening, but
But
I'm just
that
saying,
would be so good. That would be so good.
yeah, cool. It's like reinvent both the characters at the same time and
Yeah.
move the stories forward with the titles moving like you wanted to and everything. It in my opinion, it's a good vehicle to do that. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
Yeah. No, hey, I get it. So the last four championship matches we have already talked about to a certain extent, just because these are all the title matches that kind of were spawned from the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber. So, just to touch base, see where we're at, see if we have any different feelings about them. We got the Women's World Championship match with champion Stephanie Vaquer going against Liv Morgan. How you feeling about this rivalry?
I'm still in, man. I'm
Yeah,
still in.
yeah,
Like I'm just like no, this was the first match that made me give a shit about WrestleMania. Like
I
legitimately,
agree.
even before Roman and Punk,
Yeah.
because this happened. Stephanie and Liv started their beef and everything before Roman and CM Punk got super
Hmm.
serious.
Yeah.
And it was like I was like, no, this is legit. It's not just Royal Rumble winner. Like they were giving legitimate heat to each other and back and
Hmm.
forth. And I was like, no, you guys are building this so good. I am in on this. Um also the 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 promo stuff has gotten kind of weird as far as like Roman and Punk. So I'm like, a little. They caused me to back off the gas a little bit on them. But as much as I backed off the gas, that shit went down to the floor on Stephanie and on Liv. I'm in for this.
No notes, man. I feel the same way. I am very in on this match, very interested, and I'm kind of surprised. I didn't really think I'd be as excited about it, just because it kind of was a little bit of a slow start, especially slow start before Liv picked like officially who she was going to go after. But man, it's been pedal to the metal since then, and I'm with you. I'm 100% in on this match. I think it's going to be really good. Um, I know we've talked a little bit about it over the episodes, but um, I still kind of lean towards Stephanie retaining. I think that because of injuries and other things where she hasn't really been defending a lot, I do think that this is probably a big title defense for her. Liv is a big name. She's a former four or five time champ. This would be a big win for Steph. So I lean towards her retaining. I'm cool either way, but I am I am very into this match. I'm excited about it.
only thing that I don't like is when it comes to WrestleMania, and it's almost like a given, but it still kind of irks me a little bit, is if you have somebody going to the main event of WrestleMania because they won the Royal Rumble, why would they lose? Kind of thing. Because it's like they worked all the time to get into the Rumble, to get through the Rumble, win the Rumble, then they get their ticket to Mania, and you want them to win. Like you want that story to play out and stuff. And then when it doesn't, it always feels like it hits like an emotional wall for me. And then it's like, well, now what? So, and that's literally every year. It doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter like what the situation is or whatever, like that. It just kind of feels that way for me whenever that happens. So, I also get that that's like you know, unrealistic because realistically, everybody should have like a 50-50 shot of winning the belt, right? Like
Yeah.
the Rumble should just be the gateway by which you get into the match, shouldn't dictate whether or not you win it, kind of thing. Even from like from a storytelling, from a kayfabe point of view, everything, right? So
No, that's
I
fair.
get that. It just feels it's gonna feel off to me if Liv doesn't win, I feel like, but I agree with you. The smarter decision I feel is to have Stephanie retain and have her actually get a legit title run in where she can go sometime actually defending it where she's not injured kind of bit.
Yeah.
Um
No,
but then
and
also how long does that last? Because then I mean, not what did you bring Liv back for, but you brought Liv back, she's here, you have her involved in stuff. When do you let her get over and when do you let her succeed? At
yeah,
that point, like you brought her back, you have her win the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. Obviously, you had plans for her. When do those plans come to fruition, if not now? So,
right, right. Yeah,
yeah,
and Roxanne just came
still
back
excited
too.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I get what you're saying, and I definitely appreciate the sentiment, and I agree with the sentiment for the most part. I not as much as like with Money in the Bank. Like in don't get me wrong, there's obviously a much higher win percentage with Money in the Bank, but I kind of feel like it should be 100% with Money in the Bank. Like I don't even care. Um,
I
with
wouldn't.
with the Royal Rumble, I it is situational, but I do lean towards what you're saying on that. Um, but yeah, so the next women's championship match is WWE Women's Championship match with champion Jade Cargill going against Rhea Ripley, and I'm back to not giving a fuck about this match at all. I don't care. I really don't care.
I'm. I think that it's very considerate of creative to build in at least three different matches for a very long, what amounts to be a long night or two
Hmm.
of wrestling. That they just built in predetermined times that we can get up, get snacks, and go to the bathroom. I just really appreciate that they were that considerate for
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
with you. I couldn't give two fucks for this match. I don't care. I love Rhea. Uh, Jade is Jade can it's take or leave for me. Like I I don't like her as champion. She hasn't done anything with it, like anything. And I she's only getting she's getting better, but she's not it. Like I wouldn't
Mhm.
consider her, if
Not
I'm
that
looking
bitch.
at all the women, yeah, she's not that bitch. Like she's not you could say it all you want and everything, but when I think of the women's division and I think of who's the leader of that division, Jade Cargill does not pop into my brain. It's not even like she pops in there like down the list. She doesn't show up. Like Bianca
Yeah,
Belair shows up before she does, like kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like I don't care about Jade right now. Like do put her in better storylines, get her up to that same level, and then let her do the stuff that she's doing, and then we can talk, kind of thing. Like
Yep.
build her up and make her an actual force, not just tell me that she's a force. Because I'm not gonna believe you if I don't see it.
Who do you think wins
And
this
then
match?
Rhea, because it's the easiest way. Like, and I honestly think that's what it is. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's get Rhea. We'll send her to Mania, and at least that way it's believable when we take the belt off of Jade. Like, I feel like that's it. It's like Rhea's a means to an end in this, and that sucks because I love
Yeah.
Rhea. I love Rhea. I consider her one of the best wrestlers in the world, period, male or female. She is absolutely fantastic. I only want good things for Rhea. But really, in this instance, it feels like Rhea Ripley is being used as a means to an end for the women's world title
I
in
agree with
regards to
that
like
part for sure.
who how can we take it off of Jade and make it believable in the storyline. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Put Rhea in the elimination changer, have her go over. She goes to Mania, beats her, and now we have, even if it's a short reign, it's more believable than the crap that we've gotten with Jade. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
yeah.
with most of what you said here. I'm with you, especially on everything you said about Jade. Yeah, I like I said, I think Jade still has a lot of potential. I think she's got a pretty good character. I don't even hate the
No
new
doubt.
faction. But yeah, like
I
Jade,
hate the new faction. I hate
I
that.
I'm
I hate
okay
it
with it
so
just because
much.
like BFAB and Meechin, they weren't doing anything. It's kind of the classic if you
I mean,
can't beat
good
them,
for them
join
for
them
being
thing. I'm not
like
saying I
them
love it.
getting included.
I
I'm
don't
okay
love
with
it.
that
Yeah,
aspect.
no, but
But
like
I was it needed? Like, did we really need
no,
Jade to
no, it
have
wasn't.
backup? She needs two people to back her up in her
But
corner at
but
WrestleMania.
she
Just
had a
so
little
she can lose
faction in
again.
AEW too. It's very similar to AEW with her. Like she had a faction of bloater girls to kind of support her and prop her up. I'm like I said,
Mm.
I'm not like saying I love it. I'm just fine with it. But yeah, Jade right now, Jade is a bad champion. I'm not even saying I dislike Jade. She's a really bad champion though. Like, and I don't need any more of this. And I'm going to say this about Rhea Ripley. I feel about Rhea Ripley how I previously felt about Becky Lynch. I'm just so stale on her right now. I kind of want her to have a totally revamp of her character, like change up the goth shit. Fucking, I don't know. Like and I know we clearly disagree on this, but I'm so stale on Rhea. I'm not even saying like I need her to flip heel now. Like I just don't care about this character of Rhea Ripley anymore. I'm burnt out on it. I respect
So
Rhea
you
Ripley.
don't want the
I
Eradicator at all.
yeah, yeah, I don't. I'm just cashed out on this. Like and again, I think Rhea Ripley is great. Let me say that. I think that she's a future Hall of Famer, deservedly so. Rhea is very good. This character that she is doing though, I'm good on it. I'm just good on it. I just don't think you could do anything more with this character. So yeah, like I said,
I agree
how I
with that.
used to,
I agree
yeah.
with that.
I
No,
so
you're totally correct. You're totally correct on that.
yeah,
Like this character, this iteration of Rhea has been played out for a very long time.
yeah.
And I get it
Maybe a
because it
couple
was
years.
working with EO and stuff, but I mean it's not anymore. Like it's time for a change. I agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying I would rather have Rhea than Jade.
Well, of
Like
course.
that
Yeah, I,
essentially
I
at the end of
agree.
the day, like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. At this point with Jade, she has to lose the title, and it doesn't even really matter to who. Like she can't be champion anymore. This isn't working. For Jade's sake, she shouldn't be champion anymore because
Yeah.
I liked Jade up until she was champion, and now I feel like I don't like Jade. Jade's got a lot of potential. Jade's a good character. Jade has clearly been putting in the work to improve her in-ring skills, which at a time desperately needed it. She actually looks better in the ring. I'm not saying she looks great, but she looks
Yeah.
better. And she's one of those people, I'm not saying like they're the exact same person, but similarly to Dominic Mysterio, you can visibly see the improvements almost week to week, certainly month to month with how they perform in the ring. Now, with Jade, you haven't seen her perform in the ring much. I think she literally has one title defense on
I was about
TV.
to say, like, it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
judge
yeah,
by that because her ass hasn't been in the ring at
right,
all.
right. So yeah, again, so going back to it, yeah, at this point, it doesn't even matter who it is. She needs to lose the title. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's a whatever match for me.
yeah, I look at this too. Like, and you mentioned the faction, and you like that it's BFAB and Mitchin because they're not doing so well. Um, so what happens to them when Rhea wins at Mania though? Like, I wonder if creative thought about this because
Yeah,
if Jade comes in with two other women in her corner, and they get involved for shenanigans or whatever to try and help her win, and Rhea still goes over and beats her, that means that she just beat three women, not one. And on
Yeah.
top of that, Jade's not going to take the brunt of that because Jade was the world champion. Like she was in the spotlight. So now she's just the ex champion. Beef Mitchin are going to look absolutely useless
Yep.
as
Yep.
they were muscle that was just on the outside and they couldn't even do that. Like how are we supposed to be believable for their characters at that point? So I don't see how this really helps to elevate them if this is just to take the title off of Jade. So also,
Yeah.
if it goes back
Yeah.
to the Roman Reigns thing from the Roman Reigns problem. If she's this badass and she's that bitch, why does she need two women to back her up and be in her quarter to help her win? Like that's the part that doesn't jive with me. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
All,
gonna be
all,
used.
all,
Yeah, I'm gonna get
all,
snacks, so it doesn't
no,
really
no,
matter.
no. Yeah. I mean, all solid points. And to quote the legendary Scott Hall, we don't care. Uh, I just always think back to when he came out and interrupted Bret Hart and said that in WCW, and that might have been a little bit of a deep cut there, but I just don't care about that much. I don't care what they do
Yeah,
with like I said, I think Jade should lose. I don't really care what they do with the faction. I don't like. It's all whatever to me. But
yeah. We
but yeah,
want you to make us believe this was not the way to do it. This was an absolute failure, creative. Throwing
absolutely.
that out there.
Yeah. Um, Next up, we have the undisputed WWE Championship with champion Cody Rhodes going against Randy Orton. And I'm going to tell you, it's working for me. It's working for me. I,
I'm
I
over
really,
Cody.
nah, I know you are. I know you are. But listen, I, I am a mark for Cody. I will say they're getting, and I've said this before, they're getting to the point where they're kind of shoving them down our throats a little bit too much, which is why I thought they should have turned him heel. But damn, Randy's such a good heel, man. Randy is such a good heel. And yeah, like I said, it's working for me. I think Randy probably wins this, and cool. Like honestly, like I'm kind of fine either way because, like I said, I am a mark for Cody. I'm not over Cody. But Randy is just killing it as a heel right now. I'm so happy. He RKO'd Jelly Roll, which fuck Jelly Roll. Like, why the hell is this guy getting like 3 segments on a show? Like, couldn't give a
Have
shit
a
about.
singles match.
Yeah, I don't. I hate Jelly Roll. Let me just throw that out there real quick. Why is this dude getting so much attention? Like, I don't care about Jelly Roll. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a WrestleMania match. Fuck Jelly Roll. But anyway,
I look, I get if you're a fan and you're contributing to the show, I get that or whatever. They did it with Bad Bunny, they're doing it with iShow, whatever, and all that shit. Fine, I get it. You're a fan and you want to be there, and you're famous, so you can have people talk to other people to make that happen. I get that. If I was in your position, I probably would do the same thing. Because if
oh
I
yeah,
got to get into a WWE ring, I would absolutely do that shit in a heartbeat. So
for
no
sure,
shade there.
for sure.
But also, why did we need to have Jelly Roll have a singles match, a televised singles match on, what was it, SmackDown? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Why? What did that
He's
do for any? And then he wins against Kit
I know.
Wilson.
He's
I,
fucking
I
toxic, man. He's fucking toxic.
what was the point of this other than to diminish Kit further? Like he's already a jobber. That's fine. I'm not saying Kit Wilson needs to be the next world champion or anything like that. I'm not even saying he needs to be in contention for the United States Championship. But I am saying I was like, if you have talent that you've called up from NXT, that you've put time and money into developing, that you're paying a lot of money for, why are you going to have somebody who's essentially off the street come in and beat him?
Yeah,
Does that say about your talent or your training
I
program
know.
just right there? And then
Very
how
true.
does he recover from that? How does he recover from that?
No,
You lost the jelly roll.
Yeah, Kit Williams is 100% the new Heath Slater. Like that's the
Dude,
best way to
yes.
put it. He like he
Yes, and it
yeah.
sucks.
It does
I hate
suck.
that anybody is the new Heath Slater. Anybody gets that treatment. It
Yeah.
sucks.
It does
And I
suck, but
don't think
that's what he
nobody
is.
deserves that.
Yep.
You should have a stable of mid-card talent that is robust enough that you don't need a dedicated one person that goes out and jobs every single fucking match that they
Yep.
have. You don't need
Yep.
that one guy. You can rotate through and make it make sense. You have some of the best creative minds in the industry at your disposal, and you can't come up with an idea better than, hey, let's take that one guy in pink and make him job every week. Really, guys?
Yeah, pretty toxic stuff.
Pretty damn toxic.
Don't love it. And yeah, like honestly, with few exceptions, I don't like celebrities getting that much attention. And I agree. I Show Speed, he's getting some attention, but not too much. It's just a little
No.
bit, and I don't have a problem with it. Jelly Roll is probably the most featured person on, the last few shows he's been on, and I just can't stand it. I don't care about Jelly Roll at all. But anyway, back to the match.
Yeah.
Sorry, we digress there, but fuck Jelly Roll. He's toxic. But yeah, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think I already made my points on it. But yeah, I like Cody Rhodes. I think he's, the new big time super face, and I'm into it. But yeah, Randy Orton is just too good of a heel. I love this rivalry because of that, and it's working for me. And Randy probably wins.
Really
You got
does.
anything that? Yeah,
Yeah, because it's like you have to give him 15 after he's talking about 15 for so much. Like you're putting the emphasis on this. Of course it's gonna happen. But in true form, you've never really let Randy like what did we say? His average title run was only like two to
yeah,
3 months, if that.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
for all of
He's
his 14-time gold, like he doesn't
yeah.
hold it.
No,
So
he's a notorious
it's
quick
literally
champion.
yeah, it's quality over quantity, like for sure. And that's the realm that he's gone, and that's fine. I'm not that he's a world champ. He's still a 14-time world champion
Yeah,
regardless.
but
But
Roman had one title reign that has more days in it than all of Randy's 14 titles.
yeah, put together, like it's kind of crazy. And I mean,
Yeah,
like we know Randy's going to the Hall of Fame even without 15. Like we know that, but he's going to get 15 because Cody's still here. Like at the end of the day, Cody's still here. He can get it tomorrow, like the day after.
I
Like
I
he
will
could do
say
that.
this. I think that if you weren't gonna have Randy win, the best thing you could do is keep talking about that 15, because I do think that that would make you think that Randy's gonna get it. But I do think Randy
Yeah,
wins. But I like I said, WrestleMania more like I overthink stuff anyway, but WrestleMania I really overthink it. WrestleMania and the Rumble, like I'll overthink those like a motherfucker. But
yeah.
I think that I do think Randy wins. I like I said, but if they were going to take us for a swerve, him overemphasizing the 15 is a great way to do it. But I just think the
100%.
timing's
I
right.
agree with that.
Yeah, but
So
he is he's
does
doing a great job. He's doing too good of a job to not be given the strap.
yeah. And does so with this then, especially with Stephanie coming out and doing the whole you don't know this side, this Randy, and you're not ready for this Randy and stuff like that. Is this really a vehicle for Cody's heel turn?
I don't think so. I and like I said, as much as I want that to happen, the timing doesn't make sense to me. Like I guess you could do it, but I don't really see it happening for at least a few months after Mania. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how the aftermath is going to play out. I'm interested, but yeah, I don't really know. Yeah,
Because if he's not ready, if he really isn't ready, this version of Cody, because she was very specific to say that this version of Cody cannot beat this
yeah,
version of Randy. And it's like, that was very telling to me. And it's
it
like, well,
was.
yeah, this
So he's
version
got
of
to happen.
Cody can't. If he
Yeah,
loses, maybe it gets in his head that, yeah, this version of Cody can't do it. Maybe I
or he
need to be
wins
Bullet
and he
Club
just taps
Cody.
into like some ruthless aggression thing. I really don't know.
Yeah, or it could be they could absolutely blow it that way also. Like it's fine. I agree with you though. I think Randy wins. But I also holding out hope that in doing so, we're gonna get like a Cody heel turn out of it. So here's hoping.
I mean that would be perfect. I try not to get my hopes up too much for it, but Man, Cody's such a good heel. He's a great heel too. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know if I'd say
yeah.
he's better than Randy because Randy is like I like my thing is I feel like Randy spent too much of his career not being a heel for as good of a heel as he is. But
Randy could have done his entire career as a heel and it wouldn't have been stale, I feel. Like
I I,
honestly,
I
like
don't
there
think
would
you're
have been
wrong.
lulls in there. I think there would have been lulls, but
Yeah,
overall, I still feel Randy Orton could have built a Hall of Fame career while never not being a heel.
yeah,
I feel
I
like that's
agree.
possible.
I agree.
Um
There's some people like don't get me
and
wrong. Like there's a lot of good heels. There's a lot of people who are better heels than faces. I almost think it's just. I mean, I definitely think it's easier to be a heel than a face, but yeah, there's some people who are just so perfect with it. Randy,
yeah,
Triple H, like those people were just
Stephanie.
so good. Stephanie, yeah, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah,
Stephanie, in my opinion, is the greatest heel to ever walk down that ramp, period. And
male
that I
or
know that's saying
female.
a lot. I know, no, male or female. Stephanie McMahon, in my opinion, is the greatest heel the industry has ever seen.
All
Like,
right, listen.
honestly,
Next
honestly.
up, next
I know those are
episode.
fighting words, but I'm
Nope,
just saying,
nope.
like, that's it's up there with like who's the best manager ever. Like that, it's like that kind of. It's not. There's no debate for me. That Stephanie's
N-
the greatest heel, just like Paul Heyman's the greatest manager. Like that, there is no amount of argument that will ever convince me otherwise.
All right. Well,
Honestly, yeah.
next episode, we're doing a top five heels.
Okay, I'm down. I can tell you
Because
who my number one is right now.
well, I heard it. I heard it. I don't agree with it. Spoiler alert.
That's
But
fair. That's fair.
I do think she's an. I see. I want to start talking about this now, but then I'm going to
Now,
give away
save
my.
it.
Then I'm going
Save
to give
it.
away my number one. So yeah. So so we will do a top five heels as well as our updated top five power
Yeah.
rankings next episode. But yeah, we'll save that. Like I said, we got one more match, and then I want to play a little game, and then we'll wrap her up. But yeah, last match. Obviously the
Big
World
one.
Heavyweight Championship with champion CM Punk going against Roman Reigns, and this one's working for me too, man. Like I think they're both doing a really good job. They're both really good characters, and like I said, we've talked about this over the last few episodes. I don't have a ton to add, but I'm in on it. I'm invested in this match. I don't know who, maybe more so than any other match. I actually don't know who's going to win this match, and I don't know if it even matters that much. But I'm really interested and invested in this match, and I think they're both doing a hell of a job. They're teasing the Bloodline coming back, which they don't really have anything going on at Mania right now either, which is interesting. But
Not
but yeah,
now.
I yeah yeah. I mean, so like I'm curious and interested about that. But yeah, I just I don't have a ton to add to what we've been talking about with it. I think it's a great matchup right now, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. There's not a lot that I wanted to add to this one. Like I said, the promo stuff has gotten kind of weird, and then it just evolves into fighting, which we knew was going to happen. Um, but also it's kind of weird because both of these guys are just good on the mic and just great at staying composed and still being threatening as fuck.
Yep.
Like it's almost scarier when they're just sitting there with a straight face just talking to you than they are when they're sitting there like just beating the hell out of each other. Like it's like when Jake the Snake would get cut promos and stuff. He's not raising his voice.
Yeah.
He's not
Yep.
getting overexcited. He was very measured and calm, just like a snake would be, and it was
Yep.
unnerving. It both of these guys have that ability. So the fact that they're going with the cheap, we're just gonna beat the hell out of each other kind of stuff is like, to me, it's extra. It's not needed. Um, it's definitely not needed to push this fight. Like I was in on this fight pretty much from the get-go, like from their first round of promo. Like I was in. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to this one. We'll see what happens. I think Roman's gonna go over, but if he doesn't, I feel like he's gonna get the belt then at Backlash, is what I think is gonna happen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I've definitely. I will say, contrary to my feelings about WrestleMania, the last episode we did, I am much more excited about it now. I don't think that this is going to be the best WrestleMania by any means, or even the best, you know, I mean, it's probably going to be the weakest one in the last 5 years. But that's not saying anything too bad because we've been blessed with some really good WrestleManias lately. This is going to
It,
feel like a little bit of a lull still. It's not going to be, you know, if you were going to rank the last five WrestleManias, I would predict this one would be ranked five. But I am much more excited about the event that I was a few weeks ago. Like they've done as good of a job as they could to build up to it. I still think there's probably too much there. There's still a lot of room for improvement, and there's still some things that they need to build. But like I said, I'm more interested now than I was then, and I guess that's what it's all about.
yeah. I mean, we were gonna watch anyway, but now
Yeah,
are there are definitely more reasons for me to watch.
yeah, I'm
I
more
guess that
happy
makes it
about it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, this isn't like going to be the coolest thing ever, but it's just something that popped in my head, and I kind of wanted to catch you cold on when I ask you these. But I'm going to ask you your favorite guy from every faction, and I kind of wanted to put you on the spot with it, so you didn't really have a ton of time to think about it.
So I
Now
don't
I'm
even know
gonna.
what factions or anything.
Nope. I just literally last
Man.
night I just listed every faction I could think of off the top of my head. So I probably got I guess I probably have about 15, but yeah. So I want you to say who you think, not even who you think your the best was, who your favorite person in each faction was. So we'll start at the top. NWO.
My favorite person in that NWO.
Now you could go Wolfpack or Black and White. It's all NWO. So just pick whoever
Okay.
was your favorite.
Um,
Are you still there? Or are you thinking?
yeah, no. I'm here. I'm like, it's
Okay,
hard.
okay.
Probably, honestly, uh, it's probably Scott Hall, honestly.
No, that's fair, and I'm actually glad you played it that way because here's my thing: is like if you take everybody out of the faction, I might have a different favorite wrestler. Like so, for example, like I, despite his personal demons, like Hulk Hogan got me into wrestling, and I would argue he's at least one of the best faces, definitely the best face of all time, and arguably the best heel as well. So is if you're taking individuals, I'd probably go Hulk Hogan, but in the faction, I'm probably going Kevin Nash. So
Okay.
yeah, I love Kevin Nash in NWO Wolfpack. So yeah, no, I like I said, Scott Hall's a great choice too. But yeah, I'm glad you gave that some thought. We're gonna go with
Yeah,
the four. Oh, go
it,
ahead. Sorry.
it's really hard, because the when you're like us, and like I've gone over this before, like you go through and you watch the documentaries and you do your own history stuff with it and stuff, and you
Hmm.
learn how just messed up WCW was and how much the NWO was contributing to that. It's really hard to separate the wrestlers from the faction from the company and everything.
Hmm.
So that was really hard. Aside from the fact that they had like 30 something members to choose from.
Yeah.
Like I could
Yep.
have shot
They
in the
had a
dark
lot.
and picked literally anybody who was any kind of headlining in WCW, with the exception of I think like Jericho.
No,
And
Jericho wasn't in.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that you hit somebody that was in there.
DDP. Yeah. Yeah.
DDP was in there for a hot second,
No,
and
well,
I think Booker.
he more teased it. Like he kind of did like a
Yeah,
sting where like he wasn't really joining, but he had the shirt on.
Sting did join the Wolfpack though,
He
so
joined Wolfpack.
there
Yeah,
was that.
yeah.
But yeah, but you even had like Booker T was in there, so it's like
Booker
I
T
can't pick
wasn't
a favorite.
Booker T wasn't in. Stevie Ray was in his brother.
Oh, I thought it was Booker
Yeah.
T.
Nah,
Okay,
nah. I
well,
mean I
there we
don't
go.
think
Well,
so,
it's
unless
there.
I'm drawing a blank. But
I
Stevie
know.
Ray was definitely
What's
in.
up? And
Yeah. How about the
um,
Four Horsemen?
I'm gonna go Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson's a good one. That one I do have to go Ric Flair. I can't really stray from that. Now you could tell me. Now, I threw a couple in here that I'm not totally sure you're going to be super familiar with because it kind of is outside of the WWE WCW bubble. So if you can pass on it if you want, but what about the Bullet Club?
Yeah, this
Obviously,
one,
a much more Ring of Honor New Japan faction. You know,
right, right.
you've seen like a lot of callbacks in WWE. But like I said, this is one that I think would be a fair pass if you didn't really feel comfortable naming somebody.
There's a lot of people that have been in the
There have
iteration
been a
of
lot of
Bullet
people.
Club
Yeah. Yep.
over the time. Um, Everybody wants to say AJ Styles. Right? Like that's kind of where you want to go with it. That's the immediate bit. But honestly, if I'm looking at the members and the
Mhm.
wrestlers, because like I said, I wasn't familiar with Bullet Club until way after the fact when it was getting referenced when the guys were already in um WWE or NXT. So I
Yeah.
was not familiar with the Bullet Club until later. Um I will say it's probably going to either be it's either going to be Adam Cole or Kenny Omega.
All right. Okay. So if you had to lean one way,
Uh,
who gets the nudge?
Kenny.
Kenny, totally fair. Now, so I did watch Ring of Honor in New Japan at this time. So I this is a tough one for me. Even though like you didn't have any time to think about this, you're doing this cold. I've had a little time to
Yeah.
think. It's really close for me too. Adam Cole is also my runner up, but and it's very close. But I give the nod to Cody Rhodes. To me, Cody Rhodes joining Bullet Club is the reason AEW was able to exist, and it is the reason that BTE blew up the way it did. Cody Rhodes was so good in Bullet Club, and he was, you know, he was a heel there too. Like, I don't know, I just think he did a phenomenal job. I don't know, like to me that really made me high on Cody Rhodes. I've always liked Cody Rhodes. I liked him during his first WWE run, but you know, before that, I was always like, he's a mid carder that I wish could get a little bit more. When Cody Rhodes joined Bullet Club, I was like, fuck, this guy's really good. So Cody Rhodes is my Bullet Club choice. Next, we're going with Degeneration X.
You son of a bitch. Um, I want to throw you a curveball and say Kane, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Suck
Um,
it.
that was so good. Shoot. Okay, so this is a toss up. This is a toss up because it's either the question is, do I love the New Age Outlaws as much as I love Shawn Michaels?
So here's the thing, and that's a totally fair point. But if you pick the New Age Outlaws, I would make you pick one of the New Age Outlaws.
Okay, then we're going Shawn Michaels because the
Fair
New
enough.
Age Outlaws. Oh no, honestly, if I had to pick one of the New Age Outlaws, it would probably be Road Dogg.
Of
But
course.
I
And
like
that's
Shawn
nothing against
Michaels
Billy
more
Gunn.
than yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels over Road Dogg, so I would then
Yeah.
de facto goes to Shawn Michaels. So
No, Road Dogg was awesome. For me though, it's Triple H. I fucking loved Triple H in DX. I loved it when he kind of when Shawn Michaels kind of went away for a little bit, and then he kind of made like the more expanded version of of DX. To me, like that was the best version of DX, where you had the
yeah,
New Age Outlaws, China. China was always there, but well, China was there like before them, but you know, New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, China, Triple H, like that was the best version of DX to me. But Triple H was obviously the head of it, and I just thought he was so good in that faction. So next, another Triple H faction, Evolution.
for that one, I'm gonna go Triple H.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Like
Yeah,
Triple H was
like
such a great heel in that faction. Like, oh yeah, he was good.
and that's like that time when and this is gonna sound stupid because we literally just talked about him being in a faction, but that was like the time when like Triple H was like on his own and like really you got to know Triple H. Like he's having to reinvent himself as
Mhm.
Triple H the wrestler and stuff, and you're like really getting to see his technical prowess and everything, what
No,
he can do
you're
in the
right.
ring and stuff on his own and everything. So, So I guess it would be better as like, coming across as like his main singles push and stuff like that. Like I feel like that version of Triple H is probably one of the stronger versions um throughout the years. So
And probably by design too, because by definition, the faction of evolution, you have the past with Ric Flair, you have the future with Batista and Randy Orton, and the present was Triple H. So it was kind of a. I'm not saying like the other guys didn't get like greatness out of it, but he was the central focus of that faction. He was the present in the evolution. So, yeah, no, so agree. Next, we're going Bloodline.
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn is such a good pick for it. And I kind of went back and forth on this, having time to think between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. But I do think I have to go
Like
Roman
point
Reigns
three
because,
seconds. I needed like
yeah,
0.3 seconds to think about that
yep, yep.
before it was Sami Zayn.
Yeah, no, Sami Zayn is very close number two to me, but like to me, it really is what elevated Roman Reigns to like a great wrestler because before the bloodline, really, he was just being shoved down our throat. And then when he came back with, Heyman and he started feuding with Jay, and then he slowly kind of built the bloodline. Like to me, that's where he became a bona fide star, not a shoved down our throat forced star. So I do have to give it to Roman with the bloodline.
It's all
Um,
fair. I just like
n-
Sammy because it's like, hey, you
yeah,
took this guy, you let him in just as whatever,
yeah,
like to hang out,
yep,
and then you let him wear the shirt, and then he
yeah.
becomes honorary member of the Bloodline, and he's just like one of the funniest things to ever happen to pro wrestling, just
It was great.
every week out there, but
It
still
was so
being
good.
serious and a threat, so not in a way that like it's funny as far as like our truth goes. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
It was perfect. I agree. Now this one I do have to reiterate that I want you to not think about these guys' solo career after because it could get a little murky with that. So, take yourself back to when this faction was, prevalent and doing, their thing. So, the Shield.
You broke up a little bit. Well,
Oh,
what's the
sorry,
question?
the Shield.
Okay. Seth.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Seth was always my favorite from the Shield too. All right, yeah.
Fun
So not
fact, Dean was my least favorite.
fun fact. Dean was my least
Yeah.
favorite also.
Hey.
I love that. I love that. All right, now this is going to be a nice little callback, but the Cabinet, which was JBL's faction.
I looked at that one I
You
don't
know,
remember.
so he had the Basham brothers and Orlando Jordan. This one's probably pretty easily and obviously JBL, at least for me, but it was a faction that popped into my head when I was making this list. So I don't think JBL usually gets enough of his flowers. I thought JBL was awesome in his heyday as the world champion. And the Cabinet was a faction that he had during that time. But yeah, for me it's obviously JBL, but I just had to throw them in there.
Yeah, that I'm gonna say the same.
Yep.
Considering
Uh,
I can't even remember them, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's JBL.
Yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. And like I said, some of these are, it's going to be like, well, it's kind of obviously the leader, but some of it does get a little bit complicated. So, like I said, with NWO, it's not Hogan for me. Like you said, there's somewhere there's kind of like some wiggle room with who your favorite person in there was, but yeah, some it's going to be the leader for obvious reasons. How about the Nexus? Now, you could do any version of the Nexus because there's a couple versions of them.
Oh,
So. You got the one that was led by Wade Barrett. You got the one that was led by CM Punk. Um, so yeah, whoever you want to go with on that.
uh, say CM Punk. Honestly, like when they did the new Nexus,
Hmm.
it felt more serious or like more of a threat than just the first iteration did to me.
Yeah, no, and,
So
and that and that's fair. Um, I thought the Nexus originally had a lot of potential. I think that Cena actually kind of buried them, which is a gripe I have against Cena. But yeah, I mean, for me, this one, I and don't get me wrong, I actually did like when CM Punk took over. I thought that was a nice little twist, especially because at the time the faction was getting a bit stale. But to me, it is Wade Barrett. I really thought Wade Barrett had world champion potential when he was in that faction, and I know he had some injuries that kind of set him back a little too much. But I think they probably could have pulled the trigger during the prime of the Nexus, and it didn't happen, which is a bummer. But for me, that was really great work from Wade Barrett. Um, now we go the Nation of Domination.
I always liked D'Lo, but I'm not sure that I would say D'Lo was my favorite. Um,
D'Lo was good in the Nation.
yeah, it's gonna be Farouk. It's gonna be Farouk.
Okay. Farouk is a fair choice. Farouk was awesome in the Nation, but to me, this is where The Rock started being The Rock. This is where he killed Rocky Maivia, and he actually started being The Rock we know and love. The earliest form of it, but it kind of you kind of see him evolve as a character in the Nation. So to me, the Nation, it is The Rock. Now this one you go a few different ways, but how about the Corporation?
Man, you said corporation, not corporate ministry.
I
Um,
did. Spoiler alert: the Ministry's next.
I'm gonna
But you know what?
say
Let's do this though, because to me,
I'm not gonna combine them. I'm
stop,
not gonna combine
stop.
them.
But to me, like the Ministry, it's obviously the Undertaker, right? So if you do want to combine them, I'll allow it.
I'm not gonna combine them. And the
Okay.
favorite member of the corporation, Shane McMahon.
Shane O'Mac with the Mean Street Posse.
Yup.
Um, dude,
This
that's a
is
good
when
one.
this is the time in which like they were like, "Hey, Shane, do you want to get in the ring?" And the only response that Shane had was bet. I,
Yeah, yeah, dude. No, Shane was
the
awesome
dude
during this
just went
era.
ham there, and he was just willing to do stuff, and it was just like, "Oh crap, no, this is Shane McMahon. Oh damn." Like kind of thing. So
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
always entertaining. He was great on the mic, and it was just you didn't know what was going to happen when he was out there, but you
Mhm.
knew some kind of shenanigan was going to happen, and it was always fun.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, it's tough. It's tough because honestly, like, part of me wants to just say Vince McMahon for it, but yeah, I am going to go Vince McMahon for it. I was kind of leaning Rock, but but I think I'm going to go Vince. Yeah, I mean, if Vince McMahon walked out today, it would be to the really like the corporation theme song, which is No Chance. I'm going to
Yeah,
go Vince. I'm going to go Vince on that. And you already know what the next one is, Ministry. What do you got?
because if I'm gonna have okay, so again, this goes back. You're gonna make me choose one or the other, then I have to
Hmm.
go with Undertaker because I was gonna say um the
The
acolytes.
accolades.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
The
Yeah. No.
APA. Well, I mean, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
no, they
but
were still technically the APA while they were there.
I think APA was kind of after the ministry. But it does stand for Acolyte Protection Agency. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, but no, I mean it's what kind of that was the trajectory, and I love the APA. So I get it, but yeah, I mean to me it's the Undertaker. And then we got the Wyatt family.
Uh, that's not hard. It's Bray.
Obviously, it's Bray.
That's Bray.
It's obviously Bray. What about the Wyatt Six?
Um, it's Bray. Like,
Well, no, because he's not in the Wyatt Six.
no, I know, it's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, like, are you saying like his spirit?
Yeah, basically. Um,
Yeah, no,
no, I
I
think
get it though. Pickings are
yeah,
kind of slim.
I no, I Nikki Cross, honestly. I think it's Nikki Cross.
That's
I'm
fine,
glad
man.
that they
Like
found
pickings are kind of
something for
slim.
her to do. Yeah, and they found something for her to do and kept her in there, which means that she lasted longer than some people did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I go Uncle Howdy, but it's not a good faction. We've talked about that before, but um, Heart Foundation.
Uh, Brett.
Yeah, yep. Undisputed Era.
No, wait. Are you talking Heart Found? I mean, it's going to be the same, but it's is it
Heart Foundation has Owen,
in
British Bulldog,
action?
uh, the Anvil Nightheart. It had shoot, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Oh, why am I blanking on his name? He had curly hair. He's since passed. He had a rivalry with Stone Cold where he had the gun go off at his house. Why am I blanking on his name? His son is in NXT. Used to be in
Yeah,
AEW.
yeah.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Brian Pillman.
Yes, Brian Pillman. He was in the Hart
Yes.
Foundation. So yeah, the Hart Foundation had a lot of guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's still Brett. No matter what,
Yeah,
it's
it's
still Brett.
absolutely Brett. It's obviously Brett for sure. Undisputed Era.
Hear that, and it's that little kid. I just see that little kid in the hallway of the stadium yelling Brett
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like that's seared into my memory. Um, Undisputed Era. It's Adam Cole,
Yeah, like
baby.
I said, some of these, like it just kind of is what it is. And then I don't
Although
know if
I
you're
will
from.
say though, there was no real weak links in the
No,
Undisputed Era.
no, I
Like
love the Undisputed
I
Era.
loved all of
Yep.
them. I loved
I
them as a faction, but if I have to pick an individual member, it's going to be Adam Cole.
It's criminal that WWE and AEW kind of dropped the ball on the
I
Undisputed Era. But
can't
I'm
believe that.
so I'm so happy that I got to watch all of their heyday in NXT, but my goodness, they should have
Yep,
done so much more.
they absolutely should have.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, man, you like, I was, dude. Can you again, WrestleMania pop for that? Like, can you imagine
yeah, yeah,
everybody? For the main event, you put Adam Cole in there for the world title. Comes out, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. Could have had damn near
yeah.
100,000 people doing the whole entrance with him and everything, and they
Just, just,
wasted it.
just a shame. Just a total shame. And then the last one I was able to think of that had significance in my watching experience. And again, I don't know if you're going to be super familiar with them because they are a TNA faction, but Aces and Eights.
I have heard of them, but I don't
Yeah,
actually know.
that's fine. They don't get enough credit either, honestly, but it was a pretty damn good faction. Oh, I actually thought of another one too, but they're TNA too. Are you familiar with Main Event Mafia at all?
No,
Oh, that was a good one too.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch TNA at all. Like,
Yeah,
period.
Main Event Mafia was good. AJ Styles for that, and then Aces and Eights at the Bully Ray. He had some really fine heel work there. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, some of them were obvious. Some of them I was kind of curious if what way you might go with it. So just a fun little game we threw in there. Like I said, next week we'll have our we'll go back to our Power Fives and we'll do our top five favorite heels. So stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna have to take notes so I remember that we're doing
Yeah.
top five favorite heels. But yeah, no, I'm excited about that. That's gonna get me thinking because
Honestly,
then who are
I
the
got to
other
think
four?
too because there are some really great heels. Like there's going to be a few honorable mentions on this one because
Yeah,
yeah, but to like some of them I know like I've already got two for sure in there, but honestly, there's some where I kind of got to think like how would I order this? So yeah, it'll be fun though.
okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
So if it's not blatantly obvious
Mhm.
that they're in their heel era, I'm gonna say it's a no-go because you can't say like, oh yeah, Stone Cold because while he was
No, I
doing the anti-hero stuff
yeah, no, I
because
don't
he
consider
eventually
anti.
became a
Yep.
heel kind of thing. Yeah.
No,
So
no, 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 no. Um,
specifically while they were a heel.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I wouldn't consider Stone Cold. Not that he never was a true heel, but like during Stone Cold's heyday, he was more of an anti-hero, which I don't consider
Yeah,
the same thing as being a heel.
no, it's not. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And okay. So are we sticking with WWE only, or are you going outside the box?
How about we go WWE and WCW?
Okay, okay, that opens it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So
NXT
we'll,
included,
we'll
I'm assuming, but
yeah, how about we'll keep it under the WWE umbrella? How's that?
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this.
All right.
Uh, yeah, so everyone, there you go. As always, if you have any comments, gripes, complaints, suggestions, or anything else that you may want to praise or bitch at us about, please hit us up in our email. It is makeusbelievepodcast@gmail.com, all one word, or leave, if you have the ability to, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I know on Spotify you can leave comments on the episodes, and on YouTube you can. I
Yeah.
don't know about the other things where you can, but yeah, hit us up. We'll respond. Like, we want to talk to you guys and everything. We just need something to talk about. So yeah, hit us up.
What do you want to
Even if
talk
you want
about?
to just call it, yeah, if you just want to sit there and all you want to talk about is call us a moron, that's fine. Go ahead. Bring the smoke. It's cool. We're down. We're fine. We're fine with it.
That's
We just
right.
get to, rip you in half on a one-sided argument and then post it on the internet. So
We'll get the last
yeah,
word.
be yeah, be warned about that. But no, by all means, throw us whatever you have. We're fine.
hmm
Um,
We're big boys.
we could take it. Promise.
We'll only cry
All
to
right.
each other off the air.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, until next time, I'm Michael.
I'm John.
Don't stop believing, everyone.